Hello, hello, hello. We're back again for a new installment of Bible study, scripture. Today we're going to be reading from Luke chapter 12, verse 49 to 51, and it reads, I have come to set the earth on fire, and how I wish it were already burning, blazing. There is a baptism with which I must be baptized, and how great is my anguish until it is accomplished. Do you think that I have come to establish peace on earth? No, I tell you, but rather division. So as we've established, right, phase one is principalities, control, slavery, chains, part of the matrix of our society, of our households, of our families, of our workplaces that keep us in place, where we are actually led, where we are actually mastered by these principalities that want to keep us in darkness and hide us from our true enlightenment, right? And Jesus here is talking about the fact that he didn't come to establish peace because there cannot be any peace in a place where you are enslaved. And we live nowadays a lifestyle of thinking that by keeping quiet, by forever taking the high road, for being the bigger person, for even ignoring the clear signs of truth, of deception, that is what brings us peace. But that is an illusion. Jesus talks about how he has brought the sword of truth, which pierces, which actually through its action, which is speaking the truth, you are able to change. And when you have the ability to change one person, which is truth being revealed to them, and they take a stance for truth, meaning that truth is above all else. This is regarding societal norms, principalities. This is regarding family dynamics. Then this automatically causes division, because not everyone is for change, especially if you are the one who has established this certain way of thinking. Because how we've seen leadership in this three-dimensional space is that the leader always benefits, and keeping their followers in line keeps them in that place of power and therefore privilege. But Jesus' leadership was always different. How? He told us, you will do greater things than I. Till this day, I've never met a leader, other than my mom, who has the ability to give where they do not fear that you will surpass them. And in this notion, it will bring division. Because imagine me, a follower, comes in and stands against a leader and says, no, you're not doing the right thing. I think we should go this way. And then their followers start to follow you. They're gonna lose their power. And we see this with King Herod, who finds out that a king has been born and sees that his position of power is in jeopardy. Because therefore, if a king is born, then he would be seen as irrelevant. That brought division. Because, he did send out to kill Jesus and also his peers. So Jesus after this talks about how he will divide the household. Mother against daughter, daughter against mother, father against son, son against father, mother-in-law against daughter-in-law, and vice versa, and so on and so forth. And in my personal experience, I've seen this happen. At the macro of my life, in the family where I saw my parents get divorced, and easily a side was chosen, right? And because my mom has always been a praying woman and has always followed Jesus, ultimately that brought division. And by choosing my mom's side, and I did not choose her side through ignorance, but time and experience and wisdom, it was very plain to see that intentions are seeing the true intentions of a person are what actually they actually contributed to my decision. And as we grew older, I've seen this in the macro of my family, where certain elders were clearly bound to evil institutions, whether they are aware of it or not. And growing up in a space where if you disagree with an elder, then you're being disrespectful. But I'm clearly seeing the actions of this particular elder will lead me to a place, to the abyss. I have to turn my back because I am for truth, and I cannot follow someone who is against that. And I've been through this journey of transformation. As Jesus here talks about this baptism, and he's not talking about the baptism of water but of fire. He's talking about holy fire, where through this journey of mine, and having seen the establishment to these evil altars and turning against it, turning towards Christ, I had to walk a path of fire, going through fire, holy fire, to be made into a new creation. And this is a topic I'll be talking about tomorrow, which is one of the most hardest yet proud moments of my life. And God talks to us about refining us, how he refines us, as a symbolic method of putting us into a cauldron, right? Which is a pot that can actually withstand high temperatures of heat. He puts us into this cauldron because he sees us as valuable as silver and gold. Yet we have impurities, and in this cauldron, then we are separated by these impurities, and this requires hot fire. And Jesus talks about this anguish of his and how great it is, right? And how we can't wait that it's gonna be accomplished. And this gives us a motivation as we are going through the fire to see the end of the tunnel, that what has a beginning will have an end. If I've started to burn for holy fire, through holy fire to become anew, then that journey will come to an end at divine timing, and I'll become a new creature. And naturally, as someone who will always be for Christ, many will be against you. And you are tested by this with sometimes the closest people, not even sometimes, I think all the time, with the closest people in your life, to see that will you turn your back against societies that have raised you to think that they are the way, and trust your intuition, the divine that is in you, to lead you through a path of truth and light. So today we have to make a decision whether we will leave the old to become new, or then suffer what is to come with the decisions we make.